Also, just thinking about kind of social videos, those are watched on mute 92% of the time. People aren't always watching video, when they should be watching video, so they have their phones off.
What are you talking about? People watching video when they shouldn't? That's crazy.
Wild.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Headliner Podcast. We're your hosts, Nicholas and Alyssa, and we're here to keep you in the loop on all the things that you can do to promote your podcast. So Alyssa, what are we talking about today?
Well, we all know that I love a theme here, right? And it is the season of love. Valentine's Day is coming up. So personally, I think that we should include the thing that we all love most, which is our podcast. So today we're going to be talking about ways to show your podcast some more love this Valentine's Day.
Okay, very cool. And now I know the deadline for submitting the edit for this, that's great for me. That's showing the love for me. Okay, so what can we do to show our podcast some love? Because I'm getting the strong feeling that buying it a box of chocolates just isn't going to fly.
I mean, you could, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but that might kind of accrue some weird mouth noises if you eat too much and then you record, right?
Show your podcast some love by torturing your viewers with the sounds of you chewing.
Exactly. It's like ASMR, but so much worse.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so we're really going to be talking about, of course, we are the Discovery Marketing Podcast here. So we're going to be really just talking about tips for growth and kind of ways to help your show get a little bit more discoverable and to, of course, better market it. So to kind of kick things off, the first thing that comes to mind and that I have talked about probably 1,000 times is uploading your show to YouTube. So first thing, YouTube, still the number one place for podcast listenership and discovery. I mean, I think I've said this before. There's literally billions of people that use YouTube. There's, so many reasons that you should get on YouTube, discovery being probably kind of top of mind. Like I said, we've talked about those, and you can go ahead and listen to other episodes. I'll link them in the description down below. This is a reminder for me to link them in the description down below. But anyways, so kind of one of the newer reasons is, of course, AI. It's literally everywhere, whether we like it or not. It seems like it's here to stay. AI is actually using YouTube to source a lot of its information. And YouTube is quickly becoming a significant information source with all of these LLMs and chatbots. So there's this new study published by Bluefish AI, and it actually saw a pretty sizable increase in YouTube information being cited. Over the past 6 months, LLMs have cited YouTube 16% of the time in the little sources. So if you've used ChatGPT or something, you can, kind of see where it's getting its information by clicking the little link guy in the bottom of your outputs, I believe. But YouTube is there now 16% of the time. We had known that platforms like Reddit and Quora were up there. They were kind of cited as, one of those leading information sources, but YouTube is now outpacing Reddit by about 6%. So that's kind of crazy that it's 16%. That's still a kind of small number, but it is definitely becoming more and more significant.
I mean, but is it really though? Because if you think about it, as 16%, but how many different information sources are there?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
16% is a pretty sizable number. And I'd like to add one thing here. First off, that's insane to think that much information is coming from YouTube. But it also makes sense. You and I love to throw around the stat where it's 100 hours of content gets added to the site every minute or something other. It's the second largest search engine behind Google, while simultaneously being owned by Google, all that stuff. But the thing that really grabs me with all the AI stuff, and I say this as a guy that doesn't really touch LLMs or anything like that, is you can now on YouTube videos actually open a little AI tab and ask an AI to explain something in the video to you. So an example, this isn't a podcast example, unfortunately, but it is a good one. I'm learning some new stuff in After Effects these days, and I watch a lot of tutorials, but unfortunately I have the memory of a goldfish. So if I'm 10 minutes into a 30-minute video and I need a reminder of something from minute 3 or 4 and I don't want to go back and look for it or any of that, you can actually ask an AI now, hey, what expression will give me this result? And it'll go through the video and give you the information from the video. That's a huge value add for podcasts, right? You're talking about a long form type of content. So if I need a refresher on something, being able to ask about like, hey, what was the host talking about when they said X, Y, and Z, and have it actually come back and give it to me is actually a huge thing. Or even if you didn't think you understood something in the podcast, like, hey, what was this person talking about when they said this? Having something there to explain it, huge ad. I don't know of any other podcast apps that offer that. So that's like a YouTube exclusive as far as I know.
Yeah, that's, I mean, crazy. I didn't even know about that feature. So I need to try that. That's really awesome. Um, but then, of course, kind of outside of the whole like realm of AI and everything, YouTube is a universal share link. So not
Yep.
everybody has like all of these podcast apps. I mean, Spotify and Apple, they're probably, well, excuse me, they are the biggest kind of outside of YouTube places for people to listen. But, there are some smaller podcast apps. Overcast, I think, is one that comes top of mind.
That's popular, yeah.
Yeah, but not everybody has that is kind of the point that I'm getting at. So if you have a YouTube link, it's a lot easier for people to share. Word of mouth is still, I think, going to be kind of one of the most trustworthy ways for people to share and their podcasts with their loved ones because it's Valentine's Day. Who wouldn't want to share the podcast they love with someone they love, right? So YouTube, it opens it up to just kind of that universal sharing. It makes it really easy for listeners to engage and then of course kind of distill that information out and say like, oh my gosh, love the Headliner podcast. Listen to it. Everybody should listen to it. Send on Threads, send on Twitter, where I refuse to call X Twitter, or Twitter X.
You just did.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
I got
it's
you.
Twitter. It will always be Twitter.
I'll swap those in post, maybe.
Thank you. Soapbox aside. Yeah. So YouTube, discoverability, able to source on AI and kind of recommend it out, which is like, I mean, there's like millions of people that are using these things.
Thing.
So
people are talking about like AI SEO now. That's sort of the big thing in SEO. So.
Oh, don't I know? Don't I know?
And yeah, the universal share link of it all, just to kind of like tie that up with a bow, it's a lot less intimidating than giving someone like a pod.link or a custom URL, because I know a lot of people that like podcasts, but don't really do tech. They don't really know. If they get a pod.link from me for a show, they'll be like, is this a computer virus? Are you trying to steal my credit card? And I'll be like, no, guys, pod.link is awesome. I love it. I use it all the time. But like you give them a YouTube link and they're like, oh, okay, it's a YouTube link. I know what this is.
Exactly. And there's like the meme of YouTube links are like the man's like love language or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if a man shows you a YouTube video, they love you, right?
Yeah,
so,
it's that or an Instagram reel, right?
Exactly.
that's a love style or attachment style, whatever. So yeah, I mean, can't go wrong with a good old fashioned YouTube link. And then maybe on the YouTube video, you put the pod.link in there and you shout it out and go, hey, if you want to listen on your favorite podcast app, you go to this. And then you stop telling Nick, I don't want to get a computer virus. I don't recognize this link.
Solid advice. Way to tie it together there.
Thank you.
But kind of one of the next ways that you can show your show some love, that's really hard to say. I will say that. I'm really proud that I got through that.
I actually thought about going into the notes for this and changing it to show your podcast some love, but I was just like, no, Alyssa wrote this.
See, now I thought about doing the same thing. And I was like, no, I'm going to challenge myself. So I'm proud of myself. Pat on the back that I was able to do that. But anyways, showing your show some love, captioning your stuff, regardless of its full length or short form content. Just having captions kind of opens you up to a little bit more engagement, improves your watch times. We actually are doing a study right now, and I'm going through like all of the data right now, but we're seeing that about like 20% of people are reporting having, people are reporting having higher views about 20% of the time, higher engagement about 20% of the time, just by simply adding captions to their videos. So kind of regardless of what form it is, open caption, closed caption, it is really helping to kind of improve your videos, visibility, engagement, watch time, retention, all of that stuff. But with that, also just thinking about kind of social videos. So there's going to be things like Instagram Reels. Those are watched on mute 92% of the time. People aren't always watching video, when they should be watching video. So they have their phones off.
What are you talking about? People watching video when they shouldn't? That's crazy.
Wild.
Nick's got bits today.
We're quippy today.
Yeah, very.
But adding captions, it just ensures that regardless of how somebody's consuming, they know what's going on. They can understand it and they don't just quickly scroll past it because they're like, oh, no clue. Like they see what's going on so they can understand it. And then closed captions, which are going to be transcripts. We love transcripts here. Thinking about search, thinking about YouTube, thinking about AI now, having transcripts is going to allow all of those tools to kind of understand and parse your information to really be able to better contextualize what's going on because they cannot listen or watch a podcast, but they can read a transcript. So having that just adds like a wealth of data to every upload that you do, again, whether that's going to be video content, whether that's going to be audio content. And now, pretty much regardless of whatever platform you're having it on, transcripts are going to just help kind of level up that content in terms of opening it up to discoverability and growth opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, again, pulling the AI card for a second, because it's the big thing. You can't escape it at this point. I think one of the other things you can get from like a transcript, other than making it crawlable by search by AI bots, is you can actually like feed the transcript into an LLM and be like, hey, what are the keywords in this? Just give me some keywords so that I can tailor my title, my description, my tags if you're doing YouTube to actually make sure people find this stuff.
True story.
Yeah, true story. I take it I'm just describing something that you do.
I actually genuinely use Eddie for all of our keywords with our podcast and YouTube stuff.
Right. Right. Because what's that tool that happens to have that feature built in? What's it called?
Yeah. So Headliner, hi, here's our little like host read ad, I guess. So Headliner, we're a company designed to help podcast growth be a little bit easier, a little bit more attainable. We do have a free transcript based editor that comes with all of these really awesome things powered by AI with the podcast promo pack. So podcast promo pack is going to give you YouTube descriptions and keywords that you can just literally copy and paste. I think we give 25 keywords. I think it can vary a little bit kind of depending on the content length. They're super great. They're relevant to both the show and then, of course, to the actual content piece as it's pulled everything from the transcript. But it's great, really easy way to kind of optimize your content more on YouTube. And then, of course, using tags on your actual podcast host as well. It's free, eddie.headliner.app. I genuinely do use it for all of our stuff. It's not just a like, hey, ad. Like we actually do use it for our stuff.
That was very good.
It's really
that
great.
was super relatable, very authentic.
Thank you. It's my little host read ad for the day. So kind of the next tip for growth and showing your show some more love. Did it again. So proud of myself. Trying new platforms. So if you're not on YouTube already, that's a new platform you could try. But there is kind of a lot going on right now in the world. So we are seeing, TikTok. They had kind of a change in ownership in the US, or at least how their data is being handled. So now Oracle's kind of taking over that. That's caused a lot of kind of unrest in the creator and the TikTok community. So a lot of people are kind of finding alternatives to that. So if you haven't had the best luck on TikTok and you're like, maybe not for me, there are other platforms out there. So we are seeing it's called Upscrolled. It's a newer social platform. They're claimed to be kind of a democratized social platform. So we're seeing that actually downloads spiked. So I think they had like 150,000 users last week. They're well over 1 million now, and they're number one in the App Store. Yeah, so they've really grown, and it is pretty cool. I think it's a little bit more like kind of like a thread style. So it has like the places for video, but then it also has kind of the text space as well.
Like it's also a little Twittery.
Yeah. So it's super interesting. So again, if you're not having best of luck with TikTok, or you're like, oh, you're one of the uninstalls, but you want to keep it going, maybe consider trying Upscrolled. Other alternatives out there. Threads has grown massively, especially within the podcasting and the creative community in terms of just kind of those internal connects. So it's actually outpaced Twitter in terms of user base now. So that was kind of a huge milestone for Threads. I think it's been out probably for 1.5 years now.
Yeah, it's like a year and a half, something like that. That's kind of crazy, but it makes sense because they're kind of just, if you open Instagram, you're also already basically on Threads.
Yeah, there is an opt-in, I think, to a degree. But yeah, you can still be exposed to Threads. Super easy to make an account, especially if you have an Instagram or a Facebook account. But yeah, so that's really blowing up in terms of, especially if you're trying to just learn more about podcasting, the podcasting Threads community, we're
Oh,
pretty
they're
active in
great.
it. They're
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, I'm learning stuff all the time. You're seeing new creators join, asking for advice. So it's a really great and easy way to network and kind of grow your show just through creative communities as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, to that end, I think the big point here is that social media is in a very, I don't know, tumultuous isn't the right word. It's in a place where it's growing and it's changing overnight. You know, like last year when we had the TikTok ban for all of a weekend, right? Everybody and their mom downloaded Douyin, which is like a Chinese version of TikTok, for like a weekend. We all decided we were on Douyin. Stuff like that happens. And even if you don't stay on those apps, I can't think of a single person that's still using that app, for instance. You get it over there. It's a brand new space, the Wild West. You have a bunch of videos that you made in no time at all with Eddie and Make. And, you know, you carve out your little piece of the land. And then if everyone goes back to TikTok or to Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, you bring them with you. So it's one of those things where just having your hand on the pulse a little bit and being ready, you know, you can really help your podcast grow just by being a part of the conversation while it happens. I also just really wanted to say Douyin like 3 times. It's a really fun word to say.
I was really proud of you for being able to say it properly and
thank you
executing, because I knew it started with a D and I was like,
it's no showing your show some love, but yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yes, we're doing so well today. I'm really proud of us.
For sure. Golf claps all around.
Exactly. Moving on, kind of another tip you can do, you can like actually monetarily invest in your show through paid podcast promotion. So there's a number of different ways you can do that if you're natively trying to find and target known podcast listeners. Podcast apps, you can buy like ad placement on there. So whether that's going to be banner ads, you can buy within app marketplaces to get your show kind of more in actual podcast ads. So if somebody else is listening to another podcast, you can place an ad of your podcast in there via dynamic insertion. I think I said that right.
That's correct.
Sick. It wasn't in the notes, so I was really, really going off my memory there. So proud of myself there again. So those are kind of ways that you can natively tag podcast listeners in podcasting apps. If you're kind of looking to open your show to a broader, potentially more kind of engaged audience, you can start thinking about kind of off-app placements. So those are going to be like stuff on the web. So again, Headliner, we have a tool. It's called Podcast Promo, very creatively named, if I do say so myself. But you can actually place like little clips of your show on virtually any kind of page article that you're looking to get, so that you can buy kind of traffic through like Google and stuff like that to get your show like relevantly placed with relevant articles, again, to help kind of grow your podcast with content that we know is tracking, that we know people are engaging with and reading. And you can do that in an extremely targeted way, go off of high intent, so you can really track like kind of clicks and listens and see, you know, what's converting, what's not. A lot of different ways that you can go with paid podcast promotion. I would recommend checking out Sounds Profitable. They have a lot of information on that. We also have a partnership with Sounds Profitable with the paid podcast promotion landscape. That's another mouthful, but that's available for free on our website. So you can kind of see all the different tools that are out there and all of the different brands, agencies, people that can help you with paid podcast promotion, if that's something that you're interested in.
And last, this is my favorite one. So I love to take this one and run with it. And then you can just kind of stop me if I go in the wrong direction. You can engage with your audience. It's fun. You get to make dumb jokes with the people who listen to your show that they'll get because they listen to your show. So, you know, this is anything from answering your comments on Instagram. It's having a Facebook group if your audience is on Facebook. I don't know. I don't personally use it anymore, so I can't speak to that. LinkedIn communities, YouTube comment answering. YouTube actually has a community area on their site now where subscribers, people that watch your channel and stuff can actually interact with each other now. So It's stuff like that. It's fostering a community, because a community means repeat listenership. It's people that are not just invested in the value you give them through your show, but they're like a little invested in you and you making that show. And you can't go wrong with that stuff, right? It's the attention economy. Replying to a comment is basically creating content without taking the time to create content. It's an interaction. It's engagement. So cool stuff all around. And last, you got newsletters, which is another way you can do this exact thing. You have this beautiful newsletter that just appears in everyone's email inbox that they can read while they're not supposed to be on their phone during meetings or whatever. I don't know, allegedly.
Checking your emails is productive, okay?
It's productive. It has the word news in it, so it's clearly like
Exactly.
somewhat important.
Exactly. But yeah, newsletters and Substack especially, those are really great places where people can just learn more about your show and stay connected with you and your show, even if you're either on a break or you're just in between episodes, whatever. Great
Right.
kind of evergreen content tools, again, that just really build engagement.
Yeah, a newsletter is a great way. You just said the magic word, which is evergreen content. It's a good way to take an old podcast episode and be like, hey, this is somewhat relevant right now, so maybe go get a refresher on this. Or, hey, Nick and Alyssa referenced a previous episode of this podcast about YouTube in our latest. Here is that episode.
Yeah, we love engagement. That's why in the notes, I think it has 5 exclamation points next to it. So best for last.
Oh, yeah, it does. Wow, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
You got really into it. Yeah. Next time they need to be like bold and italicized and underlined.
That's too much. That's too much. You got 5. If you ignored the 5, that's on you at this point. I'm sorry. I don't know what else I can do.
I'm just doing it now anyway. Okay. So anyway. Yeah, so there you have it. Those are the secrets of the trade to showing your show some love. I almost just said showing your show some show, but
It gets you.
Those are the big ones. Engage with your audience. Take the opportunity to invest in your show with some targeted ads. Make sure your show is on YouTube. Take the time to caption it, which isn't even that much time, as these automated captioning tools have gotten a lot better. And we literally offer a really powerful free one. Oh, and be open-minded and try new platforms, especially if they're fun to say. Like Douyin.
Yeah. There you go. One last time for the road.
Yeah, just, I'm doing what I can to get by. On that note, thank you to everyone for listening. Hopefully this was just like the refresher you needed, or if you're new to podcasting in the space, it was like the intro to this stuff that you need. We've talked about a lot of this stuff on other episodes. So yes, we'll probably link a few of them, but also just scroll through our RSS feed if you're curious and you want to learn more. All right, cool. We'll be back soon with more tips on how to grow and promote your podcast. So till then, bye-bye. Happy
Valentine's Day too. You have to stay on theme.
Yeah, that too. Go buy your podcast some flowers.
Not chocolates.
Oh yeah, to chocolates, not flowers. Whatever. Both.